California warns Florida to prepare. They are migrating in droves. State income tax is to blame. This looks like a very bad sign. It's an exodus of mass proportions, and for all the reasons you've been seeing for what seems like forever, but has only continued to get worse and worse.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's no secret why we're here today. It's our nation's southern border. Recently, I was down there, and there is complete and utter chaos at the border, and the federal government is failing to do its job to protect the states and our people.
Which has led to the point which we're at today.
Of migrants are flooding transit centers after the migrant center suddenly closed.
Many of those immigration advocates and volunteers are still waiting here at the Iris Avenue transit station for the second wave of migrants to be dropped off by Customs Border Patrol. I spoke to a man who had migrated from his home country, and he says that it took him 10 days to get to America.
I've dreamed about this a lot, and thank God I'm here. And I'm
23 years old and says as a gay man he was not accepted in his country and feared for his safety. He's seeking asylum and is trying to get to Chicago to live with his cousin and go to college to be a biomedical engineer. I spoke to migrants from Ecuador, Chad, and India who were kicked out of the migrant center with nowhere to go. County allocated $6 million to operate the facility, which supported migrants captured by Customs Border Patrol agents. Now, CBP is expected to drop 350 migrants at the Iris Avenue transit station today, leaving migrant advocates scrambling to help, busing many to the Old Town Transit Center, where they can take a free shuttle to the airport or get on a bus or a train.
no government support. Absolutely no government support.
Our Democratic congressional leaders sent a letter to the DHS secretary asking for more money to quickly send it to help with these shelter services.
And what a shocking surprise. You will not guess who called me and wants to buy a house and scoop up some highly sought after beachfront real estate right here in Florida.
It's time to move on and leave the state of California permanently.
California is hemorrhaging residents to states like Texas and Florida.
After long, hard consideration, your mother and I have decided it's time to move on and leave the state of California permanently, and we're going to go to Florida.
And my phone has been ringing off the hook with calls and emails coming in through my website from out-of-state buyers who found me on YouTube and want to move now and get out of states like California and New York as soon as possible. And I certainly don't blame them. Don't delay, act fast, make it happen now. Because you do know what's coming next, right? The good folks who have been sitting on the sideline waiting to buy a home in Florida, watch this video and listen to what I have to say. Supported by all the backup data and the latest breaking news coming from Redfin, the National Association of Realtors, Zillow, Airbnb, and Congress. The information that I'm showing is to keep everyone ahead of the curve and prepare now. So let's go right now and let's get this party started. Hello everyone and welcome. You're watching Chris Igoe. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Now I know I don't need to tell you all this because you're all very smart and intelligent people. And trust me, I know. I read your comments. I know for certain you are all a very savvy bunch. And the truth is there is absolutely no way that Sly Stallone, that Rocky will be submitting counteroffers against your bid and proposal to go under contract to buy either your first-time home buyer starter place or even your retirement dream home. Nah, he's gonna be shopping in Manalapan on Palm Beach Island, and it wouldn't surprise me if he bought Mar-a-Lago and gave Trump the boot. Because if he can get it at the valuation that the judge said it's worth, if Rocky can knock out Trump on the best real estate deal ever, if he got it at the value the judge thinks it's worth, how funny would it be if Trump got out-Trumped by Sly Stallone? And look, we all know that's not actually going to happen, and the Stallone family will end up being heavily guarded within the 24-hour patrolled confines of a highly sought-after gated community, surrounded by other Hollywood stars, celebrities, athletes, large corporation owners, and maybe even foreign diplomats, somewhere in the high 7 to mid or upper 8-figure range. I mean, why wouldn't Mr. Rocky Balboa himself not treat himself and his family to such lavish digs after selling his previous home, an equestrian estate just right outside of Los Angeles, to John Fogerty, CCR baby, to John Fogerty for more than $17 million. Stallone moved from his Los Angeles home to Palm Beach, Florida, to jumpstart his creative process. After his wife, Jennifer Flavin, or maybe it's Flavin, but as they say, happy wife, happy life, well, she said there wasn't anything left for her in California. Jennifer Flavin said, there isn't anything left for me in California. And much like so many other unhappy Californians looking to relocate to a better state and much deserved and improved standard of living, they just needed a change. And that's just fine, because they will be saving so much money in taxes and avoiding all the crazy of California right now. Whether it's immigration, taxes, policy, wildfires, tornadoes, or atmospheric rivers that seem to be happening more and more often. Seems like the climate has changed the most over there. But California is yet another state on Kevin O'Leary's list of, well, I'll let him tell it to you.
We've got Kevin O'Leary back with us, O'Leary Ventures chairman, Shark Tank investor.
It doesn't matter what the governor says. New York was already a loser state. Like California is a loser state. There are many loser states because of policy, high taxes, uncompetitive regulation. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now, and I'm not the only person saying that.
And so, you know what that means. Get ready, folks, because there is likely going to be a huge wave of other left coast families looking to exit fast and move to states like Florida in the near future. Coming to Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, Boca Raton, Orlando, Miami, Fort Myers, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Jacksonville, Manalapan, and the Florida Keys. At this point, it's just a game of follow the leader. And much like any other game you play, there will be winners and there will be losers. But come here, let me tell you a little secret. Do you want to know the secret? Do you want to know the secret at how to win? Potentially a game that isn't necessarily being played fair most of the time. And no, I'm not talking about women's basketball or competitive swimming. I'm talking about the games that are being played right now with homes hitting the market for sale. New MLS listings and some old listings that have seen many days, weeks, if not months, or even over a year on market. The flood of new buyers coming to Florida in droves, the opportunities that exist, and how to best capitalize and max out South Florida living to the fullest. Well, take a look at this. All that money savings in the form of lowered taxes means much bigger budgets and significantly more buying power for homes that are considerably less to buy here in Florida compared to California. And here, take a look at this chart. We can see here by using NerdWallet's cost of living calculator to compare the cost of living in Miami, Florida versus San Francisco, California, and plugging in a combined modest household income of, let's say, $275,000. Well, then it would take a considerable amount more in earnings to live the same or somewhat comparable lifestyle. You would have to earn over $400,000 or 47% more annually just to break even and get by in California. Or on the flip side, if you were to move from San Francisco, California, and head over to someplace like Orlando, Florida, or even Sarasota, well, then you could easily pull in that same $275,000 in Cali. But it would go so much further in Florida, where you could easily dial it back a little bit, make just a little under $160,000, and be living the good life. Not only can you buy the same size home at a much lower price, but you also get to keep your hard-earned money, as opposed to paying into taxes, which will only be squandered and wasted on proposed mandatory, life-saving, reaffirming gender care, if Gavin Newsom has his way. But I'm only kidding. So basically, what this means is that the average American family struggling to get by in California can move to Florida. Max out Florida living, have unlimited access to Florida beaches, sunshine, great weather, no state income tax, and not require a huge bump in pay to afford the base of cost of living here. Oh, and that reminds me of a phone call that I received this week. Someone just like you found me on YouTube and they opted into my website. I called them immediately and we had a great conversation. They were blown away by my content, my impeccable reviews, and were super excited to work with me. They were ready, willing, and able. They wanted to buy a home in Boca right now. And they already knew what they wanted. They wanted a home in a gated community with resort-style amenities that was close to schools and the beach and shopping. They were extremely excited because they found a house that they thought was significantly undervalued compared to almost every other house for sale in Boca. They couldn't believe they found a unicorn which was at least $100,000 under market value. They couldn't believe they found this home. But I knew immediately they were shopping in a mandatory country club community, because I get lots of phone calls from people who find these types of deals and they have no idea it's in a mandatory membership country club community. So I was blown away when he said he already understood that and wanted to buy the home. Evidently, he had done his due diligence, done his homework, and already watched my videos about Boca Raton country club communities. So I know he and his family are going to be living their best life ever and maxing out South Florida living to the fullest soon. And the perks and benefits of living in Florida are almost unlimited. I mean, truthfully, I get asked all the time, is it really worth moving to Florida? And in one word, I can answer that. Yes! A lot of what people love about living in California can and is found in Florida. Sunny weather, pristine beaches, surfing, and lively nightlife. And perhaps, most notably, a significantly lower cost of living. And for most, it's definitely worth it to move to Florida from California.
We're gonna sell this house.
What? What?
Yep.
Is this a joke?
It's not a joke at all.
You're full time. No LA time.
Full time. We already have the place. It's a done deal.
Now, of course, there are going to be some things that you might miss. Being in close proximity to the mountains, and winter sports, and sweater weather, and the occasionally bumping into Hollywood celebrities at local coffee shops. But now that I just said that out loud, I don't really think that's going to be missed too much, since so many celebrities are moving to Florida now. Plus, living in Florida offers several financial advantages, primarily due to the absence of state individual income tax. Unlike California and its high tax rates reaching up to 12.3% or more, homes in Florida are more affordable with lower average prices compared to California. And Florida ends up being a win-win because the overall tax burden tends to be significantly lower. Central Florida boasts numerous amusement parks, providing ample entertainment opportunities compared to Disneyland. The wide selection of Orlando's amusement parks puts so many families with children at ease. And that's because Central Florida is home to Disney World, along with a slew of other amusement and theme parks. Universal Studios alone has 3 parks to keep you entertained. And then there's SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Legoland, Epcot, and Gatorland too. Not to be confused with the swamp at the University of Florida. Go Gators. And I heard from Michelle over on Squirrel Tribe that there's a new theme park that they've been keeping a secret. And word is it opens next year. So make sure you go check out her channel for more about that. Additionally, Florida's coastline offers highly rated beaches on both the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. And Florida's flat terrain contrasts with California's hilly landscape, which means you will be saving on gas or less battery consumption if you drive an EV like Tesla, Rivian, or Lucid Sapphire Air. But there is a dark side to Florida, and that's in terms of affordable housing. There is no denying that home prices and appraised home values have increased, which is really important to consider because I don't suspect you want to buy or invest in an asset that's going to depreciate and lose money, right? And simply put, the most affordable housing markets in Florida are going to get swooped up by these newly relocated implants coming in from all over the country. High-income earners who have been paying way too much in taxes for all these years and are looking to escape and get a fresh start to a better life for themselves and for their families. So that means they're selling off their near $1 million home in California and buying up an equal, if not better, comp or comparable home here in Florida for roughly about half the price. Now, I know you may be wondering, what does this mean for you? Well, it's easy. Hurry up! Hurry up and avoid the mad dash. Panic and increased competition from well-qualified out-of-state buyers who know the true value of Florida real estate, housing, and property market. Renting is going to become more expensive as a result, and price increases for lease agreements are in the works in the near future. Other quote-unquote loser states driving more buyers to Florida will exacerbate the coming wave, and what's considered affordable today will be gone tomorrow. And the new norm in terms of Florida housing affordability is going to be considerably higher, and it will continue to uptick. And the trend goes straight upward. The trend goes straight north. So if you're sitting there and you've been sitting on the fence and you're thinking to yourself, well, Chris, you know what? I need you now more than ever. I am in the market. My family is in the market. We mustn't waste time. Call me. And sellers, if you're even thinking about selling, you must listen up, because with all the interest and all the demand coming into Florida, affluent folks who aren't worried about interest rates, and they aren't worried about mortgages, and they aren't worried about really anything. They're sitting on a boatload of cash, a metric shit ton of cash in most cases. Those buyers are prepared to pay cash and close fast. So if you're thinking about selling, now is the time. Go to my website or call me, because right now, today, is the best time to get the best terms humanly possible, to position yourself and your home the right way to make the most on your home sale. But that's only if you've got the right team of professionals that understand the market conditions to represent you and your best interest in the right way. But please be on the lookout, beware, because there are some slick, fast-talking, snake oil affiliated, bargain discount listing agents who will do everything in their power to do nothing. Those folks do nothing to sell your home, and they are a dime a dozen. Those guys' marketing plan is to pray to the dear Lord that someone, somewhere, might possibly buy your home. But I've seen it time and time again. Most of these discounters aren't even in the right MLS that they need to be to sell your home. It's not uncommon for your home to be labeled in the wrong subdivision. It's not uncommon for your home to be marketed in the wrong MLS. It's not uncommon for some of these agents not to even be in your market. And funnily enough, I got a phone call today. In fact, I got the listing paperwork back today from someone who I had interviewed about 8 months ago. And at the time, they were not interested in working with me. They wanted to go with one of these slick talking, smooth talking discount brokers who did absolutely nothing. And when they tried to have me negotiate against myself in order to earn their business, I told them, best of luck, call me in 6 months. But they fell for the deceptive pitch, and they fell for the discount rate, which typically, by the way, is simply just a bait and switch. But they went with the bargain broker They went with the sales pitch, and while my timing was a little bit off because they didn't call me back in 6 months, it was actually 7, thankfully they remembered to call me back. But those guys are simply playing on words. Those guys are simply trying to deceive you. And those guys are going to waste your time and money. And I don't want to lump everybody into the same category, but those guys don't care about you. They only care about their listing fee. They only care about their 3% commission rate, which is about to be obliterated because the verdict is in. The settlements are in, and there's more bad news coming down the pipeline for the National Association of Realtors. And buyers agents around the country are terrified because their commissions are going bye-bye. But wait, there's more, because it's only going to get worse from here for renters and hopeful buyers who are having a hard time meeting credit and income requirements in order to obtain a pre-approval from their lender. And I intend to cover that in great detail in my next video. And you can see it right here. Miami is one of the most expensive places to live, with a median rent of roughly $3,000 a month. Tampa, Florida was slightly more affordable, coming in at $2,100 a month. But that number is very likely to change in the near future as more and more people wake up and migrate down south and relocate to states like Florida to avoid the craziness that's happening all around the country, specifically places like California and New York. Volatility season is here, my friends, so expect to see insanity. And folks, let's face it, what's coming next is not going to be good, but recession indicators are still being presented as if they are good. And layoff announcements are stacking. Layoffs are happening like crazy, which is pushing the needle of a multitude of other dire issues, which are directly tied to higher unemployment, which inevitably leads to much higher defaults. Watch what's coming, folks, because we must pay attention to the indicators. We must keep our eyes open and follow the research, especially around bankruptcies, because those leading indicators give us a very good idea as to what is coming next. What is coming our way? You have got to know that right now we have record high amounts on credit cards. Credit card debt right now looks like it's gone parabolic. The line is off the charts. It's gone straight vertical. This is a leading indicator that the public's health is literally on borrowed time. And when we couple that with auto delinquencies and student debt and healthcare debt, and all the debt that's out there, we are in for a very interesting 2024. But do not worry, do not stress, do not have any fear around any of this, because I've got your back. If you're in the Boynton Beach market, if you're shopping in Southeast Palm Beach County, if you're looking to buy here, you still can for under 600 grand. But the affordable areas of Florida are still a push. And the same thing can be said about the southwest coast of Florida. But there are buying opportunities all over the state of Florida. And the real estate market is always good for someone. But you've got to look out for number one, and definitely don't step in number two. You've got to look out for yourself. Make sure you've got a long-term plan and ensure you've got ample good savings. Make sure you're doing the right thing for yourself and only do whatever is right for you. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, please know we are a full-time, full-service team of real estate professionals, and we specialize in finding the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anyone else, irrespective of market conditions. And we also have a team of service providers for everything you might need, from title to insurance to lending. In fact, we've got the best lenders in the business. So if you need funding, please feel free to reach out to me. We can help with that too. Subscribe to the channel because I will continue to have all the latest breaking news and inside information, insider intel about what's happening right now and what is coming down the pipeline soon. So stay tuned and hit the thumbs up because it really helps out a lot. And watch this video next because it's a quick look into what's happening right now and how to get prepared for what is coming next. And if you're thinking about buying, we will absolutely find your dream home and dream lifestyle. And most importantly, negotiate the best deal humanly possible. Check me out at igohomegroup.com. And once again, thanks for watching.